What if events went differently? What if the Avengers had lost to Loki during the Battle of New York in the first film? How could this massive event change the MCU as a whole and the films going forward? Find out in today's highly requested fan fiction. If you have any fan fiction requests, do make sure to let me know in the comments down below, because I will be taking a lot more requests and doing polls on this YouTube channel, so you might actually see your request become a fan fiction. The Battle of New York changes very quickly in our new timeline. We gotta take a look back on how the team formed. After the death of Phil Coulson by the hands of Loki gave the team something to fight for, and this is a main reason why they formed in fighting in the Battle of New York. But in our new timeline, this doesn't happen. Loki doesn't stab him in the chest, but what happens is that Thor sees Loki is trying to trick him to run into the steel trap. He sees us not doing it as Loki becomes confused. Thor sees the real version of Loki, and he tried to throw his hammer, but Phil walked in with a giant gun. He told Loki that this was a test gun and that he wanted to see how it worked. Loki teleported behind Phil Coulson with a knife to his neck, laughing at Thor to stop him and put the hammer down, or he was going to kill Phil Coulson. Thor put his hammer down and Loki laughed as he pushed Phil to the ground. He told Thor he has better things to attend to, and he laughed, running off. Black Widow and Hawkeye still fought in her new timeline, but Hawkeye would win in the fight, knocking out Black Widow. He followed Loki into the jet, flying away, escaping. Because Phil is still alive, Nick Fury wouldn't be able to push the Avengers to form as a team. Thor was still on the ship, and he wouldn't crash into the earth in the steel trap. This creates big changes because since he's still there, with Phil being alive, there would be massive arguments after Iron Man and Captain America fixed the helicarrier. Loki in our original timeline had Dr. Solomon create the arc reactor teleporter to send in the Chitauri army. Loki went with Hawkeye to Stark Tower, waiting for the portal to open. Steve and Tony argued with Nick about them creating weapons, and Phil tried telling them Loki was using them to get to each other, and Nick explained there was an idea to form a remarkable group of people together. Tony got up from his chair yelling, saying that the idea was dead, and today just shows what kind of team the Avengers would be. He said it was Thor's fault Loki escaped with Clint. Thor laughed, saying he was protecting Phil Coulson, and he asked where he was when Clint needed help. He said he was going to find Loki and finish this himself. Thor grabbed his hammer, walking away off of the helicarrier. Black Widow explained to Captain America she tried fighting Clint, but he was too strong. She knew she failed the team, but she told Tony that they could get him back. Tony shook his head, saying he was done saving their skin all the time, and he also walked away from the helicarrier. Tony got into his armor, flying to Stark Tower. It was just Black Widow and Captain America left. Steve said that he was going to try and stop this, and he didn't know if he could do it alone. Black Widow agreed to help Cap track Loki and get Clint back. Phil was walking around pacing and told Nick that Loki wants an audience. He wanted to be a king, and this was his way of splitting the team in half. Captain America agreed with him, knowing that something more was up. He thought of Stark Tower. It was the biggest building in the city, and what better way to see the world fall with a perfect view of the city. Captain America and Black Widow got into a jet going to Stark Tower. Iron Man flew back to Stark Tower, seeing Dr. Solomon working on the machine that was powered by an arc reactor. Iron Man blasted it, but it was made out of pure energy. Tony saw Loki in the distance smiling. He told Dr. Solomon to shut the portal down, but he said that it was too late, and soon Loki's army would reign on the world. Tony got out of his armor, walking around. Loki said to Tony, "Don't you see? My plan worked, and your team of heroes have fallen." Loki said that it was over and he would soon be working for him. Tony said he was wrong, calling in his armor. He suited up and started fighting Loki in Stark Tower. Hawkeye was in the shadows, seeing the battle between Iron Man and Loki play out, and he grabbed a EMP arrow and shot it to the ground. Iron Man was confused, and the bomb exploded, disabling Tony's suit. Loki took his scepter, stabbing it into Iron Man's suit, and Tony's suit was shutting down and he couldn't see. Clint laughed, seeing Iron Man on the ground not moving, and he told Loki that everything was going as planned. The portal opened opened, sending in the army, and Clint gave Loki a drink and he drank it, laughing, seeing the army start attacking the city. Thor was somewhere else in the city, thinking about the team and the choices that he made. He saw a portal open, and it opened near Stark Tower. He flew there fighting off aliens, and the Chitauri attacked the jet Captain America and Black Widow were in. They had crashed the ship going in the middle of New York. The Chitauri started attacking them, and they were becoming outnumbered quickly. Captain America was shot in the knee, and Black Widow helped him get back up for cover near a truck, but there was too many of them. They were being overrun fast and quick, but it didn't stop them. They tried fighting them off one by one. Thor went to Stark Tower, seeing Loki and Hawkeye. Thor yelled for Stark's name, but he didn't answer. He was on the ground, not moving. Loki laughed, saying that it worked and that his dream was coming true. Thor screamed as the two fought it out like the original timeline. Thor threw his hammer at Loki as he went flying into a wall. He told Loki to shut it down, but Loki said that he couldn't and that it was too late. Clint was about to attack Thor, but Iron Man blasted him. He fell to the ground. Iron Man said that he needed to talk to Fury, and he phoned him, saying that Loki opened the portal. Fury yelled at Stark, saying Captain America and Black Widow were in need of help. Iron Man told Thor he was going to assist them, but Thor said he needs help to shut the portal down. Thor used a massive bolt of lightning, killing tons of aliens, but it wasn't enough. Captain America and Black Widow would be defeated, being overrun as Tony ignored Fury. He tried to shut the portal down. Thor knocked out Loki, but massive aliens started coming out, attacking the city. Iron Man said that he needed Thor to help people below, and he told Dr. Solomon to move. He hacked into the machine, seeing one way to shut it down. Hulk still would join in on the fight, battling aliens, and he just barely saved Captain America and Black Widow. Thor was trying to hold off aliens, and there wasn't much time left. Fury was in an argument with the government officials about what they should do about the city. It was too late as more aliens started coming in. Loki got back up crawling, and he saw Iron Man working on the machine. He yelled at Iron Man. Iron Man turned around to see Loki tricked him using his magic. He went behind Iron Man, grabbing the scepter from him, stabbing him in the chest. He was kicked to the ground, and Tony started crawling, asking Thor for backup, but Loki threw the scepter at him again, and he threw Iron Man off of the tower, and he was falling quick. Iron Man barely landed using his repulsors. Tony's suit smashed into a building below, shutting down. Hulk, Captain America, and Black Widow circled in the middle of New York, and they were trying their best to fight off all of the aliens, but it wasn't enough. The government agreed to drop a nuke in the city, and Fury got a hold of Tony, telling him that he was going to need him to stop the nuke before it hit the city. Millions would be killed. The nuke was sent, and Iron Man got back up from the building, seeing that he had little time left before the city would be destroyed. Hulk and Cap looked from above to see a massive bolt of fire. Iron Man told Thor he needed him to grab the nuke, throwing it into the portal. He didn't have enough time to stop it, and Thor flew in, seeing the nuke being sent, and he grabbed it. Iron Man slowly got up, seeing that maybe he could shut the portal down, and from above, Loki got into a speeder from one of the aliens, getting away with the scepter. It was too late. Thor had the nuke, and he was about to send it into the portal, but 4 massive aliens came out, and Thor was struck. The nuke blew up near the portal. As Captain America and Hulk saw this, the nuke created a huge shockwave, killing almost everybody in the city. SHIELD could see that it was a wasteland. Iron Man, Captain America, Black Widow, and Hawkeye didn't survive, but Thor, Loki, and Hulk would. SHIELD failed the city, and Fury was shocked, seeing the city was gone, and he knew that he should have called in Captain Marvel, but it was too late. He turned his head to see Phil with Captain America cards, crying, knowing that they failed. Loki escaped Earth in time, going back to the leader of the Chitauri. He explained that he lost the Space Stone and that it was somewhere in the Earth. Thanos got up from his chair, smiling, seeing Loki had the Mind Stone. He took it from Loki and gave him an army to command. Loki would rule over New York for a bit, seeing that it was a wasteland, but Thor and Hulk would team up, defeating Loki. The events of Infinity War and Endgame wouldn't happen, but Thanos would still get the stones faster since the Avengers weren't in his way to get it, and he still would snap his fingers after getting all of the stones. And that is going to be my what if the Avengers had lost in the original film, and I do believe that Loki could have won if Phil Coulson was alive, because Phil Coulson was the symbol for the Avengers to all team up, and with him being alive, I think that Thor and all the other Avengers would have still had an argument, which would have led to them splitting off, giving Loki and Clint Barton the edge to defeat the Avengers. So that is going to be my what if. Do make sure to request your what ifs in the comments down below. But anyways, as always, if you enjoyed this video, do make sure to subscribe, like, share, and turn your notifications on so you and your friends reviews are all up to date with latest content. But anyways, as always guys, thanks for tuning in and have an amazing day.